Hey, I'm Jason. This is 112 Adventures. Today, talking about a kind of an interesting topic I've been asked before. What is an FAA ramp check? What to expect, what to do, what not to do. So first and foremost, what is a ramp check? Technically, it's a ramp inspection. Usually comes in 3 different flavors, depending on how you're operating your aircraft. So for most of us, it's going to be general aviation, usually a Part 91 ramp inspection. It could also come in the form of a Part 135 if you're doing charter flights, or it could be a Part 121 inspection if you're doing airline flights. So who is doing these ramp inspections? They will be conducted by an FAA inspector, in which there's 2 types of inspectors. There's operations, which are pilots, or there's airworthiness, which are mechanics. Usually, it's probably going to be an ops inspector, but it could be an airworthiness, or it could even be both. What is a ramp check? What are they looking for? For the most part, they're just checking in to make sure that you're operating in compliance with the requirements set forth in the FAA regulations that we all have agreed to operate in accordance with based on our certificates. Where do they occur? They could happen anywhere, usually on a ramp, at an FBO, could be at your hangar, could be at a fuel pit, and usually they happen after a flight. It's rare to be ramp checked as you're getting ready to fly. Most often, it'll happen after a plane has landed and taxied in to the ramp area. Why do these ramp inspections occur? Most often, 9 times out of 10, it's random. It's usually an assigned inspection to the ASI for their standard duties, airport surveillance, stuff like that. With the exception of if an unsafe activity has been reported or seen, that's gonna also trigger a ramp inspection. So what to do? If you do get ramped, first and foremost, be cool. These inspectors are certificated airmen just like you. They're either pilots or mechanics. They have similar or other experience, which has allowed them to earn those ratings. So they know what you're experiencing, they know what you're going through, and they know what you've had to do to get to where you are. So just be cool. For the most part, most people are operating in compliance and they do a pretty good job. And there's always an exception to the rule. So most likely it's random. What to do if you do get ramp checked? First and foremost, just don't give them a hard time. They have a job to do, and that's all it is. They're just trying to make sure that you're operating in a safe, compliant manner. So have your certificates ready, have your documents organized. That's mainly what they're going to be looking for. They're going to make sure that you have all the required items in terms of airman certificate, medical, aircraft registration, operating agreement, anything like that that you might be required to have based on how you're operating your aircraft. Don't give them a hard time. Again, that's only going to make things more difficult for everybody. One thing that I've heard people say, and it's definitely a rumor, it's not true, don't hand your certificates over to the inspector, because they could construe it as you surrendering your certificate and they could take it away from you and you won't get it back. 100% not true. Even if they wanted to revoke your certificate, or if you were surrendering your certificate for some reason, they cannot do it in that manner. It has to be done in a very specific fashion. It has to be done at an office. It's a very documented process. It's not just, okay, here's my license or here's my certificate, I surrender it. It doesn't work like that. So don't worry if you hand your certificates over to the inspector, they have to give it back to you. They can't just revoke your certificate right there on the spot. So for the most part, ramp checks are pretty benign. It's not a big deal. It's not anything to freak out about or give them a hard time over. Most people are operating in compliance and you should have nothing to worry about. So yeah, just have your stuff ready, have your airman certificate, have your medical, or your basic med if that's how you're operating, or any of the other documents that you're required to. Make sure, if you have glasses, that you have all your requirements meant for having spare glasses or lenses with you. Make sure your aircraft documents are up to date, your airworthiness, registration, stuff like that. this is mostly geared towards light aircraft. If you're flying a jet or something like that, they might want to say, or they might want to see who's, you know, how are you operating this aircraft? Who owns this aircraft? Is it Part 91? Are you 135? Is it dispatched? Is there a lease agreement? Stuff like that. But for the most part, this is mostly geared towards small light aircraft and people that haven't really had any experience with this before. So that's the skinny FAA ramp checks. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. And like always, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like this video, share it for anybody you think might take value in it, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.